Beautiful.
Do you want to kick
Love
us
it.
off, Beth? And George
I
can jump in when
do.
he's
I
ready.
do. Absolutely. Okay. So I am going to just very proudly and also humbly introduce this beautiful woman sitting in front of you, whom many of you know and some may not, the lovely Carla Gamble. And her soon to be joining her amazing husband, George Morolius. And I've had the pleasure, and many of you have had the pleasure of working with them before with previous organizations. And the thing that I just have to say about both of them that I just really embrace fully is the depths of knowledge that the two of them both possess, both as individuals as well as that cumulative amazing amount of knowledge, particularly in the nutrition realm when they combine forces. So Carla, just so that we're all clear about like how amazing she is, and then we can get to George in just a second, is that she is an IFBB Elite Figure Pro. She has a physique unlike many other women, but what many women aspire to be. She is an executive head coach. She is a lifestyle transformative coach. She's a competitive prep coach, international health speaker, and most importantly, I believe for the benefits of this conversation tonight, is the fact that she is a nutritional specialist. And I have come to have a great deal of respect for her depth of understanding and her ability to communicate those things so that even the layman can really understand them. And then George, I've had the pleasure of having him also do some very deep dives on some formulas that we have each had the benefit of observing. And he is incredibly gifted and talented as well in that realm and beyond. So I welcome everybody. I'm so grateful that you all are here and look forward to a great conversation and learning more and more about the wonderful company that we're going to hear some about tonight. So take it away, Carla and George.
Very cool intro. Thank you so much, Beth. Yeah, look, Beth and I have had the pleasure of working with one another for a little while now, and we just have such a mutual respect for one another in our own expertise, in our own little niche areas. And we're just so happy that we can be working together again with a company that again we have fallen in love with, and I'm going to show you today what that is all about. So I'm going to really try and stick to as closely as I can 30 minutes for the actual presentation, maybe 35 if George goes on a bit of a tangent. But look, George is going to be jumping in. I may ask him a couple of key questions. He is kind of like the science brain that explains things in more of a technical way, and I keep it in simple terms so that everyone can understand. So, George has a PhD in sports psychology, evolutionary anthropology, and he's been decades and decades in health, nutrition, and the coaching space. So he's a wealth of knowledge, as Beth said. So, guys, what we're all here about is obviously to hear a little bit more about what LifeWise represents and why we have chosen to partner with them more specifically, because we do not take that lightly at all. And George and I specifically are really picky. And I know Beth is as well. So when we find products that we can resonate with and we are in alignment with, it really means something, because it's our reputation at stake as coaches. If we're going to be recommending certain products, they absolutely need to live up to what we're saying they do. So
Mm.
when you do find products on the market that actually do what they say they're supposed to do, let's face it, it's quite rare. Uh, it's a company that you want to stick by. So I want to kind of cut through. That's why I kind of called this presentation Cut Through the Noise, because there is a lot of noise out there. So I'm just going to jump in and share my screen because I do have a bit of a slide deck. I'm really visual. So I think it's nice when you've got some slides and something to look at rather than just me talking and talking. So let me just go into my
Oh,
slide deck here. And I will just go into present mode so it goes on full screen. Otherwise, it's a little bit difficult to see. Present, full screen. Yay. Can you guys see that?
mhm.
Awesome. Cool. So, this is really key, and I love this quote: good health is not a destination, it is actually a daily choice. And that is so true. When you see people that are wanting that quick fix, and that's why these people are they're jumping on the GLP-1s, and they're jumping on those quick fixes, and they're hoping that it's going to fix everything in a short space of time. But then what happens at the end of that period when they haven't learnt how to change things in their daily diet? They haven't learnt how to move their body correctly. They haven't learnt how to take on these new health habits. They go back to their old habits, and all the health issues come back again. So it really is, it's a daily choice. But this is where the noise comes in. Oh my gosh, so much noise in the supplement and nutrition world. Everyone is just screaming for your attention, saying that their products are the best. And just, I mean, this is just a small list of the fad diets that, and I'm sure there's a lot that everyone is familiar with: carnivore, keto, low carb, no carb, fat free, gluten free, dairy free, sugar free, paleo, juices, everything under the sun. And actually there was a new one that came about. One of my clients said that someone from her work is going on the cookie diet. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what is going on with this world? So does she? I don't understand. She thinks she can fix all her health issues just by eating cookies. I don't understand. And I was just like, you know what? I don't even want to hear about it because it's just so crazy. So we're bombarded with all these things, and whole foods are the best, and yes, there's an absolute element of truth there. But here comes the truth in that our whole foods that we buy are simply void of many of the key minerals and vitamins that used to be in them when our soil was actually had minerals in it. So it is so void of minerals that these vegetables and plants and so forth that are grown in the soil, look at these figures in this graph here, everything is on a decrease, and not just by small amounts. These are huge amounts that the soil is is just depleted. So it's kind of scary. So I think I saw a study that was on spinach, and to get the equal amount of vitamins and minerals in one bowl of spinach that you would have eaten in 1950, you would have to actually eat 43 bowls of spinach to get the same amount. Now, I like spinach, but maybe not that much to try and get the same amount of minerals in there. So there's something terribly wrong here. So, okay, if I'm not getting the nutrients my body needs to perform at its most optimal, to live my life with energy, to show up at work, in my career, for my family, for me, then I guess I need supplements to fill the gaps. And this is where the confusion happens, because not all supplements are equal. There's a huge marketing hype going on in the supplement world, and they can trick us and manipulate their wording to get away with saying certain things. And if you're not on the ball and you don't pick up on these things as just pure marketing hype, you will absolutely get roped into it. So look, take a screenshot if you like. This is just a very small sample of some things that you see on labels in the red that are toxic, they're artificial, and you want to absolutely stay away from them. So feel free to take a screenshot, but this is, like I said, this is just a very small snap screenshot and snapshot of what is toxic. The bucket approach, I might get George to actually talk a little bit on the bucket approach, where you can look at a label and at first glance it looks like, well, they've got all the right things in there. So George, do you want to unmute? And
I need some volume.
I will turn
Just
my
bear
volume
with me
down.
because I've lost my.
Actually, do you want to just come over here?
Yeah, because I can't
Just come
find.
over. Just
Why have
just
I
mute
got
yourself
my?
again. Don't worry, just mute yourself and come over here. So George is going to jump in, and we always have um, fights with Zoom and fights with IT issues. Maybe it's showing our age. I'm not really sure.
Because we're in the same room.
We are in the same room, so we get a bit of feedback. So George is going to talk about the bucket approach that a lot of companies are they're using this bucket approach, where they kind of, or the blanket approach, I suppose, where they throw in minuscule amounts of what looks like the right stuff. So George, do you want to just talk into that a little bit?
Sure, and you will find this happens a lot in multivitamins, in certain vitamins and minerals which try to give you a full range, like it might be just magnesium, but it'll try to give you a magnesium complex or a B complex. And also, we're finding a lot in meal replacement products where they will
Carla,
add.
Carla, sorry, I'm so sorry. I want to hear everything that he's saying, but could you turn up the volume just a bit? Because we're having a hard time hearing his wonderfully soft-spoken voice.
Where's the volume?
It's because I'm sharing my screen.
All right, I'll speak louder. How about now? So we find this fairy dusting happening a lot in multivitamin and mineral products, in meal replacement products as well, and also quite a bit in a single mineral or vitamin supplements. So it might be a magnesium complex or a B complex, where they'll have a little bit of some of the good stuff, but then a load of uh, other components which are just negligible. But most people would have no idea. Like, if I was to ask everybody on here what would be the daily dose of magnesium, the recommended daily dose of magnesium, not many would know, would they? Feel free to
No,
know.
everyone's shaking their head no.
Okay, so you wouldn't know if there's 80 milligrams in there or 400. You wouldn't know if that's good or bad. So they get away with it that way. But what's happening a lot lately is in meal replacements, whether it's plant based or whey protein based. It's expensive these days, and it's so competitive. Everybody's producing their own protein supplement or meal replacement product, which means there's more people wanting, the more manufacturers wanting the actual ingredients to produce that product to share in the market, which means prices are going to go up. So what they have to do to try to maintain a reasonable profit margin is lie. So they will say that we have this vitamin and that mineral and these trace elements and this huge list. But if you actually look at how much of the recommended daily dosage that they represent, it's minuscule. But people don't know how to read that, they overlook it. So it's happening a lot, and it's happening because it has to happen, because it's the only way a lot of these supplement manufacturers can stay in a market.
And the other thing is, George, which I know you've spoken about before, is that they will use a cheaper version of that particular vitamin or mineral. So, like, especially with magnesium, when you see magnesium oxide, that's only 4% absorption. It is the cheapest and pretty useless magnesium that you can find. So if there's a company that is using magnesium oxide, it's purely just a filler and just to get magnesium, the name magnesium on there. So they've used the cheapest type of magnesium. So thank you. So the other thing that isn't really talked about is the how do the nutrients actually get into our body, the absorption, the bioavailability, but also the assimilation. So the assimilation is how our body actually recognizes the supplement or the ingredient that's going into our body, because if it's a synthetic, then the body recognizes it as a foreign object, a foreign substance, and it'll go through the liver, and then there's much, much lower absorption rate. So things like this, that they might have all the right ingredients on the label, but they're not using a liposomal technology, they're not using nanotechnology or anything like that, where it's a very high absorption rate and the body actually assimilates with it. So a lot of it is actually just wasted, goes through the liver and then, or, the kidneys, and basically becomes very expensive urine. So yeah, the nutrients do not make it into our body or into the cells as easy as we think. So how do we make all this happen, and where do we even really start? So we go into what I love to call, and one of our counterparts in LifeWise, Dr. Becker, who's a naturopath doctor, she often talks about the 5 pillars to cellular reboot. Number 1 is stop polluting the cells. So that is basically getting some healthy swaps in your life. Cut out all the junk food, cut out the processed foods, and start making some changes in your household for more natural products. Number two is you've got to flood your body with vitamins and minerals that it needs. The cells need electricity to actually have that connectivity and talk to each other. So really, really important that we are flooding our body with the vitamins and minerals on a cellular level, opening up the five eliminating organs, which I'll go through just very, very quickly in just a moment. But then we want to manage inflammation, which is also something that many of us suffer from. And obviously balancing blood sugar. Now, what I've got next to these, especially number 2, 3, 4, and 5, is some of the products that LifeWise has that actually addresses all these things. So going back to the 5 eliminating organs, we've got liver, kidney, lungs, skin, and our colon. So when one of these is overloaded, the other one tends to try to pick up the slack. And that's when you can start to feel bloated, low in energy, brain fog, some stubborn fat that just won't leave. So that's why it's really crucial to be looking at the system as a whole, not just one particular thing. So LifeWise was launched in 2023. And our mission is to share only the truth about nutrition and expose the hidden truth about synthetic isolates, which I've spoken about, and all of the man-made chemicals with ingredients that are not bioavailable and could do more harm to your body while they are certainly doing them no good. They have been in existence for more than 50 years, and now it's time to reveal the first 100% clean product line ever created. So this is where we want to jump in and talk about why we're here, to learn a little bit more about this beautiful company. Now, this is our corporate team, and Dr. Tracy Gibbs is the formulator, our chief science officer. He's behind all the formulations. He owns a couple of his own manufacturing facilities where all of the LifeWise products are manufactured. Rob Orwin is our CEO and founder. We've got James Dufour, Greg Edelman, and our chief culture officer, Pastor Chris Clem. So it's a beautiful collection of some pretty awesome people. One really interesting thing, which I'm not really going to be talking about the business side of things, but it's very unique when you have a corporate team that do not take a salary. They do not take a wage from the company. They are in the company just like any other partner, which is extremely unique. This is the product line. Now, I'm not going to talk about every single product here today because that would take too long. But I'm going to pick out some of the key products that I believe everybody should be on. So we are going to start with the one. Now, this is something that is actually classified as whole food. It's a whole food supplement. It provides daily nutrition. It includes, now I am going to refer back to some of my notes because some of this stuff is like really scientific, but the one is so unique in that it's got everything in it, similar to what we were talking about before, but it's got the clinical dose, which is so refreshing. You've got your 32 superfoods, 72 trace minerals, 7 digestive enzymes, 9 strains of probiotics. There's prebiotics in there as well, and all your omegas. There's your vitamin C's, D's, B's. Now, all the B's are methylated. There is nothing synthetic in here. It is all natural from plants. That is what Dr. Tracy is has his PhD in.
Phytopharmacology.
Phytopharmacology. Thank you, George. um, and actually, the vitamin C in the one, the equivalent dose would be if you had an IV drip in your arm of vitamin C. So it's pretty amazing. And if you are taking vitamin C, you're taking your omegas, you're taking your vitamin Bs, your Ds, your vitamin E on a daily basis, you don't need to purchase those anymore. You just need to get the one. So if you were to look at replacing all the products that are in the one, if you were to look at replacing them separately in the doses that are in here, you'd be looking at about $350 a month spent on those separate items. With the one, it's 99, and you get these beautiful little packets, and it just is so easy. And especially if you're traveling a lot as well, you just take your little pouches with you. Like I said, it's whole foods, your omegas, which is so awesome, from plant. So there's been a couple of people that have said, oh yeah, but I'm allergic to seafood or marine, and that's okay because the omegas are from a plant, which is so cool. Now, the other thing that he did put in is the phytoplankton. That was a separate product. He has now scrapped that as a strip, and he has placed that into the one for no extra cost. Liposomal, yeah. And it is a liposomal technology, which is a assimilation with our own internal cells. So the body recognizes it straight away and blends with it. So the absorption rate is extremely high. One thing to remember before I go into some of the other products is if you have the one in your cart when you're shopping and you're jumping online and you're taking a look, if you put the one in your cart, then everything else you add into your cart will be BOGO. Buy one, get one free. So let's just say you want the one and you go for Dream because you need help with sleep, and you go for Balance because you are on a weight loss journey and you want to help to balance your blood sugar levels, then you'll get 2 Dream and 2 Balance. So it's a great deal. The other way you can order is if you're just going to get 2 products to start with and you're not wanting a double of the second item, but you would like it 50% off, you can do that by purchasing the one plus. So whoever has invited you to this call can explain how all of that works when you feel you're ready, if you feel that this is a good fit for you. But it's such a great deal, and it means that your products last longer, and you can actually share them with family members as well. Here is the clean. Now, this is our beautiful detox product. It is plant powered, of course. Anything that Dr. Tracy works with is powered by plants, and it works on our 5 eliminating organs that I discussed before. So it is a powerful antioxidant and helps the body's natural detoxification processes. So you can take that on a daily basis, 3 just at night before bed, or you can do a deep clean and take 3 in the morning, 3 at night, or you can do a super duper deep clean and do 3 in the morning, 3 in the middle of the day, 3 in the evening. But you only do that for about 10 days. It does help to get rid of um, spike proteins in the body, heavy metals, that sort of thing. If you're wanting to do a deep clean, then the 10 days is the way to go. But there's a protocol that we follow in order to do that. So you can speak to us about that. But the daily gentle cleanse is amazing. We've got our fuel for our US people. Unfortunately, we do not get that here in Australia. We are bummed about that. When you read what is in here on paper, it is phenomenal. Yes, it's a plant base. If you are used to whey protein shakes and you're transitioning over to a plant based shake, it's going to taste a little funky, right? It's going to be a little different texture. Most, actually, all plant based shakes have that kind of chalkiness. So that can take a little bit of getting used to. Dr. Tracy has put a light vanilla flavor through this because he's a believer in if you want it to taste like banana, throw in a banana. Yes, it's going to increase the carbohydrate intake, but because the carbohydrates in this shake are actually quite low and it is a full meal replacement, adding some fruit in there is actually completely fine. If you want it to taste like berries, throw some frozen berries in there, or some pear or apple, or actually someone was telling me that they threw a shot of coffee in there to make it like a coffee flavor. There was someone else that was saying, oh, I've made waffles with it. I'm like, what? Wait, I need to hear about this. What is going on here? They're like, I can't do it as a shake. The chalkiness kind of, I just can't get past it. And look, I'm a whey girl. I'm a whey protein girl. But she was saying to me that, yeah, you can actually blend it with like a couple of egg whites and put it in a waffle machine, and then you make waffles that you can then put your own toppings on, like some beautiful Greek yogurt, some berries or sliced banana, some cinnamon. And I'm like, okay, that's extremely creative and I love that idea. So just be aware, if you are going for the fuel, that yes, it is going to taste different to compared to a whey protein. But the George, do you want to talk on the quality of the actual blend of protein in here?
Okay, so in the past, whenever I've researched a product, I'll go through the ingredients and just get an overall summation of whether it's a good product or there might be a few things wrong with it. But that was like I stopped doing that about 3 4 years ago when the market was just flooded with protein supplements and especially the plant proteins that have come on the market because the quality in many cases have been pitiful. So what I started doing 2 years or so ago is I don't look at the overall quality of a product. I try to find just one ingredient that's not good. And if I come across an ingredient, I think, why is that there? That shouldn't be there. That's just filler. Or that's just going to enhance the taste and it's going to upset your gut. I just dismiss them. And for me, that manufacturer loses all credibility. So I always look at products which I cannot fault. Now, when I researched fuel, I went harder and harder and harder because I couldn't find anything. And then once I started doing a profile comparison between fuel, other protein supplements, and also whey protein, fuel actually came up with a bioavailability which is equivalent to egg protein.
Which is the
Now, egg
highest.
protein is the standard. because it has the highest bioavailability. Then comes WPI. So the fuel protein's bioavailability is equivalent to egg protein. It is a perfect food product. There is no toxins in it. There's no nasty sweeteners. I could not find one ingredient in there which
Mm,
I could condemn.
mm.
Now, I'm not a fan of
Plant.
plant proteins because of that chalkiness and that funny texture that it has. But there's some out there that are good, but
Mm,
nothing's as good as fuel. If you
mm,
like taste and flavor, that's a personal uh, uh,
mm,
um, thing. But if you just look at quality, there is nothing on the market right here, right now, that
mm,
is as good as fuel as far in terms of bioavailability and health.
mm. Awesome. Cool. So I won't go into all of the details here, but it's got a full profile of vitamins and minerals. So it is a complete meal. Um, and the blend of the pea, rice, pumpkin seed, and hemp,
And the mushroom,
and the
as
mushroom,
well.
which the fermented mushroom makes it a complete protein. And that's what you need in a plant based protein. You need those blends. You can't just have pea protein on its own because it's not complete. So
Hey
restore
Carla,
it.
could I pause
Yeah,
you for just one second and ask a quick
yeah,
question? I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you,
yeah,
but could you go back to the next slide? Because there was something that
yep,
you pointed out to me early in our conversations that I thought was so incredibly wonderful. And I
mm,
just wanted to pause for just one second and see if you could highlight it here. So a lot of times what we'll see on labels is we'll see all kinds of different blends, right?
mm,
Like types of blends that are kept quiet and there's, they're secret blends,
Mm.
right? And often, as we've talked about, there are manufacturers out there that they will never disclose what is in their proprietary blend,
Yes.
that's right.
right?
Yeah,
So would you mind just briefly touching on that? Because I
yeah,
find that so not only fascinating, but also incredibly
yes.
rewarding.
Absolutely. So one thing that LifeWise do, and they do it with the one as well. Um, when you look on the back, yes, there is a proprietary blend or a blend, but then it is followed by exactly what is in that blend. There is no smoke and mirrors. They are full disclosure, like fully transparent, and that is so refreshing because often you will just see proprietary blend and then they just list or sometimes they don't even list what's in there,
Mm.
or sometimes they'll list the names of what's in there, but you have no idea of the percentages of what exactly is in it. So with all of the labels, with fuel, with the one, you'll see that there's everything is transparent. So the blend here, and this is what's in it. So it's very refreshing, and it just shows how much integrity this company has. Does that answer your question, Beth? Awesome. Restore is probably one of my, well, I've got a lot of favorite products, but Restore is great for inflammation. Now, it's liposomal, so very, very high absorption rate. And you can take this in place of your, um, what do you guys call it? Tylenol or the pain medication or anti-inflammatories that are destroying your gut. So you can actually, the dose is to take 2 capsules, but you can actually take, if you have an injury or you are specifically carrying some inflammation in your knees or your hips or your wherever, your back, whatever it is, um, you can actually take 4 or even 6 of these to get that inflammation under control and give you some pain relief. Now, I've had so many customers and partners that have lots of different ailments, and same with us. We're in the gym 4 or 5 times a week, and George is actually 69 years old. I'm 54. And so, there's some aches and pains, there's some niggles, right? Especially with how we train. And the Restore is just so beautifully put together, and you can take it without feeling like, oh yeah, but I'm destroying my gut. Not at all. It is no impact on your gut biome whatsoever. So it helps to target the areas of inflammation in your body. You can take it pre or post workout. You can take it every day or just as you need. Excellent for joints, muscle, soreness, and connective tissue. So it's an amazing product. Balance is another incredible product, and the Balance is great if we're looking at a weight loss journey, or if you're needing to get your blood sugar levels under control, if you're wanting a natural fat metabolizer. So this can be looked at as a natural GLP-1 that does not destroy your insides. So there's a lot of ingredients in here, like the maki berry extract, the GBB, the Amento pump, that all, well, the maki berry is extremely high antioxidant. The GBB is like L-carnitine, which is a wonderful, like a transport vehicle, carries fat into the cells to use as energy. The Amento pump is great for diverting nutrients and pushing nutrients into the muscle. So really, really great to take before any exercise. You actually do feel the difference. And again, a lot of these, as you can see on the picture, are the strip format. So that is mouth to brain direct delivery. You place it on your tongue and stick it to the roof of your mouth. It is the buccal delivery system. And we are the first, LifeWise is the first in the industry to develop products in this with this technology. So pretty special, because there's no one else out there doing it, but it won't be long. They're going to follow suit. It means that nothing goes into digestion and gets chewed up by the acids in your stomach. It's direct into the bloodstream. So when you're taking one of our strips, you will feel the difference within 3 to 5 minutes. And you absolutely do. Like, we take this before a workout, and every single time you can feel the strength is there. You can feel the extra focus is there, and you can generally exercise for longer. So it's pretty phenomenal. Helps to manage sugar cravings as well. It's a great product, really great product. The Radiance we absolutely love. You need to take it a little bit more long term. So kind of, I guess, equivalent, like a lot of people take collagen supplements. Collagen is a protein. Your body just reads it as a protein. So when you're ingesting collagen, your body just recognizes it as a protein and will use it where it sees fit. This is biotin, ergoveda, synatine, which all help and assist the body's own development of creatine. So collagen. Thank you. Beautiful product, excellent for hair, skin, nails, and also works on those telomeres. So the telomeres are the little antennas on the ends of the cells, which start to decrease as we age. So having a supplement that specifically targets and promotes telomere lengthening, means that it's kind of an anti-aging supplement. So beautiful supplement once again, and tastes like chocolate. Shield is our immune booster. Amazing. Excellent for if you're starting to feel a little run down, you can double dose it. Take one, let it dissolve. Take another one, let it dissolve. Very good for allergies as well. And you can take it every day, especially in Australia, we're coming into like winter. So, that's when a lot of people, it's flu season and so forth. So great to take every day just to keep your immune system where it needs to be. The Lift, another one of my favorite products. So some of you may have been familiar with the previous company, Zalevo, where we had our Drench and our E-Vibe, two of my favorite products. This is like Drench and E-Vibe in one. So they're not the exact same ingredients, but we're looking at natural energy, hydration, and mood enhancement. Now, in a bag of Lift, you get 60 sticks, 60. If you buy it with the one, you're going to get 2 bags of Lift. That's 120 sticks, people. That's a lot of mood enhancing and hydration coming your way, right? Our whole family uses this. We've got a 19-year-old son who's extremely active, elite athlete, plays Australian rules football. He loves Lift. So great product. You can use it before exercise or activity if you're going to be outside in the heat, even just in the morning, just to give you that little pick me up. It's a beautiful, beautiful put together product. The perk is apparently sensational. Carly, I'm not sure if you're still on this call, but she tried it the other day. She's not even a coffee drinker. She's like, I love it. So it's got the mushroom technology in there, the shaga, the reishi mushroom, the lion's mane mushroom as well. So it's not just coffee. There's vitamins and minerals in there too. So if you're wanting a clean perk up, that would be your daily dose, which is awesome.
Carla, I loved it.
Oh, thanks, Carly. Yeah, awesome.
I took it to work and I was like, oh, he's opened it already. Okay, I can try this. And I only have a coffee when I go out with a girlfriend or something. It's more of a social thing for me. I thought
Yeah.
I'm just going to try it. I'm intrigued. And I was surprised. I don't know what I was expecting because it has
Yeah.
lion mane and all the goodness in it. So, but it was really yummy. So I'm hooked. Craig
That's
loved it too. He came home from work and said, oh, I like that. It's great.
yeah, that's so good. Big coffee drinkers we are in this household, so we'll be definitely trying that next time. So look, this is just a little insight into some of the packs that you can get. This is your strip sampler. It's $2.49. You get a card of 30 of each of the strips. So some of those strips you definitely won't take every day, but some of them you might, right? So some of those strips will last longer. If you were to purchase these separately, you're going to be looking at $3.73 if you're going to purchase these separately. But in the strip sampler pack, it's $2.49, which is awesome. What happens when you get it with the one? Oh my goodness. Talk about value. I have no words. This is another little great one. If you don't want to start too big, but you want to give them a go, this is a experience card where you get 6 little strips of each product of the strip line. So it's 65 US. And again, you get it with the one, you get a double. So you get 12. Great little sampler. And this is just you might want to take a screenshot of this. This is a great one. So these are some suggested products for each of these um, health targets. Menopause, you want to be looking at lift, balance, clean, dream, clarity. Can you have a restore? Can you have perk? Absolutely. But these are just the suggested products at a minimum. Weight loss, balance, clean, the one, lift, restore, and so on. So take a little screenshot there. That's a great little go-to chart. And again, like I've been talking about the whole way through, is the BOGO, and if you're just getting 2 items and you're just wanting to try it out, you can get the second item half price if you don't want double. So you can grow with us, and there's 2 ways to join LifeWise. You can absolutely be a customer. We love our customers. Or you can join as a partner if you feel like you want the rest of your family to have this goodness in their body, your friends, your loved ones. It costs 0 to be a partner in LifeWise. So if you're someone who, when you find something you love, you tend to talk about it with people, it might be a good idea to join as a partner, and then you can get a little commission back. And that is the end. And I know we went over time quite substantially. I'm so sorry,
You have
guys.
so much to say that's so good and juicy, though. I mean, it's
So much to
awesome. So
say.
we thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate it
Does
so
anyone
much.
have any specific questions that you'd like to ask George or myself or both of us?
Yes, I do, if it's okay.
Yes, Jen, absolutely.
Thanks. So when you were talking earlier about how the other kinds of supplements can just pass through to the liver and the kidneys, etc., and give us expensive urine.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I've been thinking about in that regard is whether or not that burdens or damages those organs. And I was curious if you happened to know anything about that or have seen anything about that.
George.
Yeah, it can. Whenever we stress the liver by making it do too much work, it produces inflammation, same as pretty much any other organ in the body. And what happens long term, you will have conditions specific to not necessarily liver failure, but liver stress. And this will be picked up in any blood tests you might want to do. When you, a good example is there's some, and these are plant products too, plant foods, which are included in like a multi mix of supplements. Some might have a lot of maca is one of them, maca root. Ashwagandha is another one. I can't think of the others, but there's a few which in moderate doses are very, very good for us. But as soon as we up the dose, because of that, curcumin is another one. High doses of those products, the liver looks at as toxins. So it doesn't even want to process them. It just breaks them down quickly and eliminates them from the body. Now, long-term use of products like that at high dosages actually damage the liver. And if you get a blood test, you will see that your liver enzymes can be quite high. And that's where a product like Cleanse comes in. Clean comes in very handy. But long-term, yeah, they can produce some pretty damaging inflammation to the liver. It stresses it out.
Someone was talking about Dream. Yeah, awesome. I thought I had Dream in there, but I must have skipped that one. Sorry about that. So Dream is another strip that you place on your tongue, stick it to the roof of your mouth. If you're having trouble with your sleep, Dream has a combination of L-theanine, saffron, and melatonin. There's only 1 milligram of melatonin in there. but it is a beautiful supplement. The saffron actually helps with reducing anxiety, stress, all of those sorts of things as well. So if you take a strip just before you go to bed, because remember the strips work within 3 to 5 minutes, oh boy, you're going to have the most amazing sleep. And I know Carly has been tracking her REM sleep on her smartwatch, and she's getting some amazing, amazing results with her, like really high percentage quality sleep.
Got
Um,
100% once.
yeah,
I couldn't believe
amazing.
it.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, oh wow.
yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely helped me a lot. Like
Mm,
deep and REM, I've been getting 2 hours plus and up until
yeah, that's great.
definitely with REM, I was maximum 40 minutes. So yeah, so I
Yeah,
That's
woke up
big
refreshed.
difference.
a
Yeah.
huge improvement.
So,
Angie, I see you had a
yeah,
question as well.
yeah, go
Just
ahead.
real quick, so how many, if I'm trying to track, how many food products are there and how many strip quick products are there
There's,
that you were talking about? Which is
yeah.
which? I lost
Okay,
track.
yeah. So there's
Mhm.
5 strip products. There's Dream Clarity, which is great for brain fog. I had one before this call. Maybe it didn't work, but I think it did. I'm pretty sure it did because I was half asleep. I've been up since like 4 o'clock. So Dream, Clarity, Balance, Shield, and Radiance are your strip products.
Mhm.
The other products, which are little gel caps, all liposomal, are the One, Restore, and Clean. So the other
So
product,
there are no shakes.
the shake
This is
is a
fuel.
powder. The
Fuel.
yeah,
Fuel. That's
Oh,
called
Fuel.
okay.
fuel.
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Shake is
Thank you.
powder, and the coffee perk is powder, and the lift is in the little stick, the little powder sticks that
Yeah.
you just put in your water bottle.
Okay.
Did I leave
Thank you
anything
so
out?
much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Carla, could you help us appreciate why the strips are so incredibly powerful in terms of their delivery? Because that was one of the pieces of this technology that really appealed to me, not the most, but certainly at the top of the priority list.
Absolutely. Go.
They call that technology, is it the buccal or
Yeah.
buckle, or so it's
Depends whether you're in Australia
or
or the
America, yeah.
US.
Anyway, but it's different from the sublingual where you place the strip or the tablet or whatever underneath the tongue. In the past, that's been used a lot for issues concerning the heart, anxiety, also drug addiction, sublingual. But not everything can be placed, can be transported through the buccal system because the molecules have to be processed to the point where they can be so small that they just penetrate through the tissue in the upper mouth, the roof of the mouth, and it transports itself directly into the bloodstream. Right now, that's the gold standard of supplement delivery. A lot of medical procedures use that. They're starting to use it. The reason it's not more commonly used is because it's very expensive. The benefit, though, is once if you can afford that technology to manufacture strips or whatever gels in that using that technology, you don't actually need as much of the actual supplement. Um,
Because
because if you were to say, let's just say caffeine, for example, if you wanted a bit of a perk, like if you're a trainer and you want that pre-workout effect, and you were to take 2 cups of coffee, which is 140 milligrams of caffeine. Now, if you were to put that into a strip and take that with the buccal system, you'll probably have a heart attack
yeah.
because you would only need about 20 milligrams of caffeine to get that pre-workout effect. So they're using a lot less, which means they can invest the money in the technology. And the other thing is, remember, they own their own manufacturing plants, which is a huge cost saving. So they're then able to perfect the technology, afford the technology and use less ingredients, but use the best quality ingredients that are out there, and still make their products quite competitive and affordable. So right now, the buccal system or buccal system is the gold standard for supplement delivery. Not being used by a lot because they can't afford it. Now, once it does flood the market, unless they also own their manufacturing plants, which they probably won't. What's his name? Who owns it? I think Tracy,
Yeah,
Dr.
Dr.
Tracy.
Tracy.
He's been in the industry for some
Oh, 30
30
plus
years,
years, yeah.
and he's developed over 1100 different formulas. So he knows what he's doing. He's been doing it, and he's probably got the funds to back himself. That's why the manufacturing plant, the gold standard in delivery, and still quite affordable products.
And one other thing just about Dr. Tracy, because he's been working in the industry for so long, and I think this is a really important story to kind of take on board. I'm sorry if I'm taking too much time, but he kind of got so sick of developing these products where he had he would develop certain products for companies, and he would have an A, B, C, D, E standard, and he would give it to the CEO of that company and thinking product A is the best. Like that's what they need to be taking into their company and producing. Product A is the bomb. And the CEO of that company would always come back to him and say, product A is amazing, but it's going to be too expensive. Can we look at product option C and D? And he said, my heart would just sink and go, oh, well, you can, but we're using cheaper ingredients that aren't as effective. They don't have the studies behind. Like every ingredient that he puts in our products, there's studies behind not just the product, but every single ingredient, because he's used the top quality that there is available on the planet for every single product. So that's when he just got sick of these companies just taking these substandard formulations, and he's like, I'm sick of this. And that's when he got together with Rob Orwin, and they were like, let's do it. Let's create something unique where there's no substandard. It is number A the whole way. And I think that just shows his integrity. He's pretty incredible, and the corporate team, they're all in alignment with that. Awesome. Anyone else?
Jen's got a hand up, and so
Yeah, I think we got 3 people with their hands up there.
Okay, just unmute yourself and go for it.
Okay, I'll go first. So fuel. I'm curious who we have to lobby to get that in New Zealand and Australia quicker.
I know, right?
Fair question.
That's a big question that I cannot answer, but we are desperately trying to work out ways. Look, to tell you the truth, the only way it will become available in Australia or New Zealand is if we can get it manufactured here. Mm-hmm. It's the only way, because the shipping, because it's heavier, the other products are really light.
But even a lot of the strips, they actually tried to approach a lot of compound labs over here, and scientists and food manufacturers.
Oh, that was for the one. Yeah.
To get products actually produced, manufactured here in Australia.
Yeah.
And they gave up because, number one, there was not a manufacturing plant in this country that could do it. And the other thing is that so many of them didn't understand the science behind it. So we just seem to be so far behind.
Yeah.
And that's sort of a limitation too, because Australia doesn't have the technology to be able to work with them to make these, to allow these products to be manufactured here.
Mm.
Um, as for the fuel, it's more of a
Shipping.
Australian dollar, yeah, versus American dollar, and because it's a heavy product, the transport fees are just expensive.
Mm. So yeah, we might have a bit of a road ahead of us before that happens, but we're definitely working on
Yeah.
it. Next.
Don't want to assume, and maybe I just missed it, but where is the manufacturing? Is that US based?
US.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What about the ingredients? Where are,
Oh,
nah,
oh,
that's a big question.
they're sourced from all over the world, but it's manufactured in Dr. Tracy's manufacturing facility in Arkansas.
In Arkansas, I'm pretty sure it's Arkansas. Yeah. But all the ingredients, they're sourced from locations which manufacture the best quality of that ingredient, and they've all been certified, and all have the documentation to support all of that.
Mm, absolutely, yeah. Some are from Japan, all over the place. Yeah.
South America.
South America, yeah.
Which makes sense when you want the best of the best, but in
Yeah,
today's geopolitical environment, and
absolutely.
you can't control access, that could
100%.
eventually.
Yeah.
Okay.
It isn't right now though, which is the great news because they've done a lot of manufacturing that's going on though. So yeah,
Mm.
good.
Robin and Angie had something else.
Yeah, just quickly to that, I think it was mentioned earlier. So all of the product are they're non-GMO and organic. Um, well, that's fantastic to hear. And I just wanted to comment, it's not a question, but
Mm.
how excited I am to hear about the thing, everything that was brought up, but especially the informations about sleep. Because personally, not to be selfish, this is hopefully with the goal of helping other people.
Yes.
Um, I'm an individual guinea pig right now on the diabetic road, and it's later in life, and I'm discovering that one of the biggest problems that's affected my blood sugar is poor sleep and lifestyle that involved that. And so when I'm noticing whenever I get the right nutrition and good sleep, my blood sugar is way better. So this is
Amazing.
really exciting because
That's so
be,
great.
be really fun to incorporate those ingredients. I know.
That's great.
Thanks for all the good sharing.
Yeah, of course.
I just want to add a bit of value just for
Go,
those
Carly.
that are on the call. And I know it's going a bit long now, but I just want to quickly say that the shield, I ordered the shield, and that was the last one we opened when we got everything. And then my mum was really intense one day, let's say, quite anxious. And I called Carla and I said, what do I give her to calm her down? And Carla's like, tell her to take 2 shield and a lift. And she did. And I got home 4 hours later and she said, wow, that really worked. Within a couple of minutes, I felt calm.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, that's amazing. And then another client or customer that's just recently purchased, and I'm sure she won't mind me sharing, her and her husband, she's got 3 young children under 5 or under 4, under 5, and a 1-year-old. And she did take 2 shields because she felt like it was dinner time, feral hour, and she was stressed. And she said, oh, and she sent me a voice message and a text saying, how can this work so fast? I just feel really calm. This is amazing. And her husband had the same, and he's the biggest skeptic of everything, quite a negative Nancy about these types of things. Do these work, supplements, blah, blah, blah. And he took the Restore. He's had a very sore back, an issue with his back for a few weeks now, acute pain. And he had 2 Restore and 1 Shield, and he was bathing the kids. And he said he got up and he turned around and he went out to her and said, I got up with ease. And he even got back down and then up again, thinking, was that a fluke? Like, was that a one-off?
Yeah.
So that was for me.
That's
and
amazing.
I actually had a shield the other day and I did feel calm.
Yeah.
Felt calmer. And
Yeah.
I think that was when I was on a call with you, Carla, actually. And,
Yes.
and you said, commented that I felt I was calmer.
Yes.
So that's just a bit of a testimony about Shield. I'm wrapped in Shield. I think it's a great product. And the more I take and dive deep into the ingredients and listen to Dr. Tracy, I realize I think we've got really great products here, and I've taken a lot of products over my lifetime of 54 years because my mum was right into health when we were younger, so I've kind of had a passion for
Mm.
health, and it's really refreshing to find LifeWise have not cut corners.
Yeah,
So
isn't it?
yeah.
Thanks, Carly. That's awesome.
Love that.
Great share.
I actually have another question from Tracy, who is with us but muted at the moment. So I'm just going to ask for him if that's okay. He said, with today's mineral loss to farming practices and soil, sorry, it's not going down very easily, depletion, how are the products capable of providing the viable nutrition our bodies physically need? Is there one product within the product line that you would provide the ultimate nutrition for wellness, one-stop shopping for intake versus a variety of products?
The one without a doubt,
Yeah, the one.
straight away.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dr. Tracy's actually gone, he's actually said that one of their goals is to have everybody on the planet taking the one,
Mm,
because it is the one that can make life changes over time.
mm,
And and when you get a company so determined to push that type of product because it's good for everybody, it's got so many health benefits. You got to sort of say, well, why? Why not the whole range? Why not? But that product, they say, is one of the best on the market. You won't get anything better than that. That's of a similar type.
mm.
So the one,
Yeah.
It's well named,
yeah,
It
yeah,
is.
it is, it
It's the
is.
one.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's
really
very
is.
thoughtfully named.
Yeah.
All right. Well, those are the questions that I've seen in the chat and that have
That's
come
great.
through. And I just want to thank both of you so much from
Thanks,
head to
Beth.
toe. You're just absolutely marvelous and wonderful, and what a phenomenal pair of resources you both are for each of us. So, very, very grateful for your time.
And grateful for your time because we've really gone over, but I think it's been a very beneficial conversation because I love the Q&A at the end. That's the
That's
best part,
yeah.
really.
And if there are any questions that come up, feel free to just reach out.
Yeah, you guys can reach out to us directly if you need to, or just get in touch with the person who invited you on this call. And yeah, if there's any further questions, please feel free to reach out anytime. But thank you so much for your time this evening and this morning in Australia. Thank you guys so much. We
Well done,
appreciate you.
Carla. It was awesome. You did a great job. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Totally wonderful. And we'd love to get the recording when you're able.
Absolutely. I'm going to stop
Okay.
recording
All
now.
right. Thank you so